Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
We made it, folks. 100 episodes. I am stoked for you to listen to this. If you haven't yet, please give us a rating and a review. We want to make 100 more episodes, but more than that, we want to connect with some new people. And when you guys give us rating and a review, it helps push our platform out to some new folks. So with that being said, let's get into episode 100. Ready?
Steady.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Episode 100.
100 hours or more, actually, of podcasting.
We have done 100 straight weeks of dropping an episode on this podcast.
You know, they do say consistency is key, babe.
They also say it's king.
Consistency is king.
So we're going to do a feel-good episode. If you guys are new here, well, welcome. You're joining us at the perfect time. We're on episode 100. Where you been?
And if you're really, really dedicated, which I feel like a few people have told us that they've done this recently, you can go back all the way back to episode 1 and then
we'll see you in 99 episodes.
meet us back here.
So we're doing 100 episodes. You got Brandon
And Susie.
and my lovely wifey over here. And we're going to do a feel-good episode
Just
based
to
on
celebrate the
just
podcast.
to celebrate this episode, celebrate 100 episodes of hard work.
One of our clients, Alex, got us some bubbles last weekend. We should have popped them
it
as
open,
a part of the podcast, but we can't now because the baby's sleeping.
Yeah, we can't do that now. But what
And
we're going
it's
to do
Monday.
is we're going to start with a banter topic like we always do. And just because it is the time of the year.
And I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for this conversation.
Oh, Susie's excited. We'll get to that in a moment. But we had 25.2, which was the second worldwide open workout that we did last weekend.
Hell yeah, we did.
Which required just a little bit of pull-ups and just a little bit of double unders and a little bit of thrusters at a very light weight. And then on the second round, you did a little bit more chest to bar pull-ups,
just a couple,
just a little bit less
double
skipping,
unders and some
and
just
heavier.
slightly heavier, baby thrusters.
And then on the third round, we did some muscle ups on the third round.
Yeah,
we did a little bit less, a little less double unders,
Some of
and
us
then
got
some
there.
very heavy thrusters to just remove the soul from the body. And you had to be pretty darn efficient if you wanted to get towards the end of that workout. We're really downplaying this right now.
This workout was so freaking
It
hard.
was a hard workout. Yeah.
It was
And
a repeat, right, from 2022.
A repeat from 2022, and it was Susie's first time doing it. Tell them how it went, Susie.
Oh my gosh, everybody, I got my first bar muscle up.
Woo!
And then I also got a second repetition.
Yes, you did.
So it wasn't even a fluke because I did 2, right?
You did too, yeah. Yeah, it was
Like
awesome.
it doesn't count as a fluke. It can't be a fluke.
Oh, I see what you're
I
saying.
haven't
yeah.
retried it since, but I mean, it's only Monday.
Yeah. It's only been 72 hours.
46 minutes and 3 seconds.
But yeah, Susie did her very first muscle up. Well,
Yeah.
first you had to do a lot of work to get to the opportunity to even do a muscle up.
And I
you did
really
it.
sent it on the front half to allow myself the maximum amount of time
Yeah.
to attempt to execute.
And you had what, 3 minutes?
3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes to do
Right?
a muscle up? It
Yeah,
was
3.5
minutes.
minutes.
12-minute time cap for the workout.
I know, math is hard.
And yeah, so we were doing it in the same wave in our coach's heat, the finale.
It was so much fun.
So much fun. And it was kind of cool. I was, as I said, dying and going into a dark place where my soul was starting to exit my body. So I was
Yes.
towards the end. I had completed my muscle ups and I was on that last barbell at 135 pounds trying to do 15 thrusters. And
Yeah.
it felt like every rep, my legs were going to explode.
Yeah.
My heart was pounding through my chest and I did a couple thrusters and everyone's just screaming. And then I kind of look up and Susie's
At the top of the
at the top of the pull-up bar, which was super cool. That got me emotional in the moment.
Oh, that's actually
Yeah.
so cute.
It gave me a nice...
He does love me, everybody.
Yeah, it gave me the warm and fuzzies during it. I got a little teary-eyed. And then I realized, shit, I still have like a minute left to do these thrusters.
You're like, I wish I was her right now.
And then I picked up that bar and did a couple more thrusters before I put it down. And then you got another one, and I cheered you on.
I did.
And then I was like, hey, like you gotta do some more thrusters. Like, how cool is this? The wifey's over here doing her first ever bar muscle ups.
Yeah, never.
And I want to give you props because, as we've had multiple conversations, you had a really good mindset going into this. You had a really, really good mindset saying that this will be my first time. I'm going to get a muscle up, and you stayed strong mentally.
I really did. Like the whole, like since the workout was announced yeah. and then the whole day on Friday leading up to it, you know, like I was giggling a little bit when I was saying it, but I kept saying like, I can't believe I'm going to get my first muscle up tonight. Yeah. I can't wait to get my first muscle up. It's going to be so cool getting my first muscle up. And I feel like that really helped me speak it into existence. At no point did I ever say, oh, there's no way or I can't. You know, I did say like, oh, it'd be really epic if I did, like knowing that, you know, you can't assume that it's actually going to happen. I wasn't delusionally saying it was going to happen, but I did really carefully speak about the workout in a way that I never once said like it's not possible.
Yeah, you had a really good mindset. And I would also, so the workout had like pull-ups. Then on the next round, it advanced to chest-to-bar pull-ups, and then it advanced to bar muscle-ups. And shout out to all those athletes who got maybe their first pull-up or got their first chest-to-bar pull-up, maybe got their first bar muscle-up like Susie, maybe got their first double unders as well. Those things could be hard to get when you're first starting. So shout out to all the athletes who did their first, and I think that's what the magic of the open does.
The open, for sure.
But that being said, you had a high skill movement, and this workout, if you have the fitness capabilities of doing it all, it's a purely like, hey, you're going to go and you're going to hurt in your lungs, you're going to hurt in your muscles, your legs are going to start cramping up, and you're going to do this high skill movement at the same time. And that's pretty much what that is if you have the fitness capabilities. But for most of the world, this workout, it's or I wouldn't say for most of the world, sorry, not for most of the world, but for a big part of the competitors doing the open, it's a workout where you're going to hit a movement where you're going to have to face adversity. And what I really cringe at is when people haven't even tried yet and they've already put themselves down.
Absolutely.
There's no way no way I'm gonna get a pull up. There's no way I can get a chest to bar. No chance. I'm not even close to getting to bar muscle up, Malice. And and
she believes it now, though.
Yeah. And you know, I told Susie, I said, there's no reason why you cannot get your first bar muscle up in this workout. And you had the right mindset to go into it, and you did it. Yeah. It was
actually so fun because I really did. Like, I watched a few videos. I mean, I do have great gymnastics already.
And most of the people who don't have their bar muscle up have those good gymnastics.
Right.
Can do the kipping pull-ups, can do the chest to bar pull-ups, can do a lot of toes to bar.
Right. It's just about putting the pieces together properly.
Yeah. And it's also really hard to imagine yourself over the bar.
Yeah, like it's really spooky hard up there. I found it was nerve-wracking really to come down. I was like, how do I get down from over here?
Yeah. But a lot of people can't even put themselves in the mindset of thinking, well, I can do that. You know, they think it's so far. But I've seen people who can only do like a few chest to bars in a row be able to get their bar muscle up. So if you can do some chest to bar in a row and you can do toes to bar in a row, like you most likely have the physical capability of doing a bar muscle up, but you just got to put the pieces together also, aka the technique.
I think it was a lot about just like unlocking the limiting belief I had in my brain, because I know that my gymnastics are good, and like it's kind of fun
how many unbroken toes to bar can you do?
20.
That's a lot. How many unbroken pull-ups can you do? kipping pull-ups?
Like 10.
What about chest to bar?
5.
5, yeah. So those are just numbers that Susie has, and she's able to do a muscle up, right?
Yeah.
So for any of the listeners who are like, I can do more than 5 chest to bars, but I don't have my muscle up, or I can do, I mean, your toes to bar is very, very efficient.
Yeah, that's my jam.
But if you can do 10 toes to bar in a row, like on a max set, you have the ability to
100%. Yeah. And like one thing I just want to, I don't want to spend this whole episode tooting my own horn, but you know, here we are. Toot, toot, toot. One thing though is that I am such a vocal person in our community of like making sure you say like, I can do this, and like, give it a try. Have you tried it? Like, you can do something. So it was fun to put myself in walking the talk. Yeah. So I was very intentional about my vocabulary and talking about the workout and speaking to other people. You know, I kept saying like, I can't believe I'm going to get my first muscle up. So cool. But then also like something that I did like literally in the workout. And this is also something that like I learned from my dad, like when I was younger, when I would do like public speaking at
Papa
school.
Papa Miller's got the best advice here.
He sure does. But there's like, I don't know if you ever heard of the Superman stance, but you stand like with your hands on your hips with your chest proud and your like feet sort of like wide. Yeah. And I literally, before I did my first 1 or 2 attempts, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm getting close. I was starting to like really, really believe in myself. But I was like, okay, I need to really, I'm running out of time. I got to make each of these reps count. And I literally stood there, put my hands on my hips and like closed my eyes. And I literally said like mouth, like, I can do this. Like you can do this.
It's powerful.
And like, it really worked. It was like magic. I jumped up on that bar and I was like, whoop, boom, over the bar. And then I was like, oh wait, hang on. I didn't plan for this. How do I get down?
Yeah, it was really cool.
But I really like, it sounds so cheesy, but it was so effective.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was really awesome, babe. I'm proud of you.
Thanks. I'm so proud of myself.
Coolest moment. Not even 9 months postpartum, getting your first muscle up.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've put in a lot of hard work.
I'm very proud of myself.
I mean, you trained up until pregnancy. Throughout pregnancy. Obviously had a C-section, so you had to take, 6 weeks was it? 6 weeks?
It was 6 weeks like fully off, but I didn't really CrossFit for like 2 months maybe.
Yeah, and then you got right back into it, and you were like at the 7th week, you were doing CrossFit slowly and gently.
Yes, but I was like very...
Yeah, no, but I'm saying you were back to training after 6 weeks of taking time off.
Yeah.
And now we're 8 months postpartum. You got your first muscle up. It's super inspiring. I freaking love it. And I love you. What did you say? Like, it was the first time I said I love you on the podcast last time, or...
Yeah, it's going to come up later on my list.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so a feel-good episode. I love you too. Susie and I are going to discuss... We're just literally going to talk about random shit here. But
memes.
First, I wanted to highlight, Susie and I obviously are the owners of CrossFit Max, and we started this business back in August of 2022. So we're about 2.5 years. We're coming up on very close to 3 years.
3 years sounds like we know what we're doing, you know?
Yeah. Does it? Yeah.
No, but I feel like when you say like, oh, my business is open like 1 year or 2 years, like, oh, like a new business. When you say like, I've been like in business for 3 years, they're like, oh, you're a business owner. Yeah. You know, like it just sounds.
Yeah. It's more official. Is that what we said after 2 years though?
Yeah, probably. But
yeah, so we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary in just a few months at CrossFit Max. We've gone through extreme highs. We've gone through extreme lows. We've discussed almost everything that's kind of happened in our life.
Yeah, we don't really hold back.
And, you know, the cool thing, I was just looking back at all of our episodes, all 99 episodes that have already been published. And I was thinking, dang, like we released our first episode in April of 2023. Does that make sense? Yeah, because we're not quite at 2 years, or else we'd be at 104 episodes. At 104 episodes, that's 52 episodes a year, right? My math is good. Yeah, 52 episodes a year times 2 is 104. So we're coming up on 2 years of podcasting as well. But I was just looking back at those episodes and I was like, damn, I feel like just our life over those 100 episodes is so different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, just from an age perspective, I wasn't even 30 years old when we started the podcast. Oh my God,
I feel like you've been 30 for 45 years.
I wasn't even 30 years old. And like I transitioned from 20s to my 30s. You know, we have a baby now.
Yeah,
which is crazy. One. Yeah, obviously we lost Max, right? Which was a very sad episode to record. Which, you know, and looking back in it, I'm very happy that we did have that episode. I feel like it was a great memory, and I also feel like it felt good for us to be able to release that and to be able to showcase the world that episode. Mm-hmm. But don't want to get too emotional. I felt like that was a big episode and a heavy episode. But we had heavy episodes. We've had lighthearted episodes.
Silly episodes.
We've had episodes where Susie and I finish them and we tell ourselves that fucking sucked.
We have episodes where halfway through we kind of fight and then we have to pull it together and finish the episode.
Yeah. I mean, we've had interruptions before where people knocking on the door and stuff. And we're like, God damn it. We've had how many issues have we had with software where we have
one episode that we actually sat down and had that conversation 4 times.
Yeah. We've had, exactly. We had
Was it 4? No, 3.
I think it was 3 times. Yeah.
But we actually recorded the episode.
And then on the third,
times.
So we recorded it first time. Don't know what happened. Lost it all. Recorded a second time. Same thing happened. We recorded a third time and then it lost it all. And I was furious. I was and at that point it was, you know, we're very consistent. Well, no, we're very consistent with our podcast. We knew that if we wanted something to be successful and grow, it has to drop on us on a schedule. And we've released an episode every single Wednesday.
It's literally amazing
for the last 100 weeks straight, right? And there was a time where it was getting close to the date, and it was now like Tuesday late afternoon when that third episode was recorded. And I don't know if you guys have ever gone through that. It's a very unique moment where you're sitting across from someone and you have a full conversation and you think, wow, I remember being super pumped about it. It was a really good, like, uplifting conversation.
And like the vibe is good, right? Like we're like bouncing off of each other. This is like happening live. This is not scripted podcast.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you lose it and then you're like, okay, well,
let's try it again. But you're trying to make a joke and it's not funny because he knows that you're going to say the joke and then the joke doesn't land.
And then after
it's
the second
awkward.
one, you change because you're like, all right, like it's not authentic. I don't want to say the same joke for the third time. Anyways, we've lost that episode. We end up like contacting the software company, finding it into the threads or whatever somehow and getting it out there. But all that to be said, there's ups, downs, different moments in lives. And the one thing that I'm really proud of this podcast is that we have stuck to it. We have traveled across the world. We've had a baby. We've, you know, had some incredible guests on. We've just had like so many amazing moments throughout these 100 weeks.
It happen.
That I feel like 100 weeks ago we were different people.
100%.
100 weeks ago our business was a different business. Our gym was different. God. Our community was different.
Everything.
Our staff was different. Like every aspect of our 100 weeks ago is completely different. Our podcast is slightly different now as well.
We're sitting in our fucking kitchen right now.
We're in the
with
kitchen
the baby
right
monitor
now while the baby's sleeping over there. You know, so shout out to any of you guys who have been with us since episode 1 or now have gone back and started listening to episode 1 and kind of finished at this episode,
or anyone who's just like hopping in now, like no need to go back, you can look forward.
And it's like,
I'm so sorry for my breathing during those last 6 months of my pregnancy. I just really apologize to anybody who is sensitive to that.
So funny. So like a lot of times I'll send people a podcast episode based on
like a relevant topic. Yeah.
Hey coach, like what supplement should I take?
Oh, check this episode out.
And I'll be, oh yeah, check this episode out. We have a thorough, and then I forget, like, what did we actually say in that episode? Or someone would be like,
where were we at in life when we were recording that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, we have a pregnant friend and was asking about training stuff. So we sent her a couple of the pregnancy episodes, and I don't even really remember how they were different, but I remember one was like during like the very, very end, tail end of your pregnancy. And then one was after. And I was like, both of these are going to be fantastic. So sometimes I'll go back and like listen to them and be like, oh yeah, these got good parts. So like I'll send that off to you. So all that cool. To be said, 100 weeks ago, we were different
a lot of
people.
Memories.
This business was different. This community was different. And I'm like really stoked that we've stuck with it because there's been so much good that has come from releasing an episode every single Wednesday for 100 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to talk to me.
Well, that being said, what I decided literally
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes before starting this episode, I thought it would be fun to discuss a top 5 highlight from the podcast.
Podcast related moments for each of us. And we don't know each other's top 5 right now. And Susie was saying that I feel like we're going to be on different wavelengths. Yeah, like if you're sappy, like we are not on the same vibe because mine are funny.
So some
of them are funny.
I've made my list of 5 and what I think, and you've made your list of 5. And I think we should go one at a time. Now, I didn't write mine in any, like.
Mine's in order.
Yours is in order. So I don't know if I can put mine in order.
Okay.
All of mine are pretty awesome. So.
They don't have to be in order.
They don't have to be in order. Okay, so mine are not going to be in order. So
I'll purposely say mine not in order.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, gotcha.
Because I thought we were ranking them.
Yeah,
but I don't want to be the only one ranking. It's awkward. So like you'll just never know. I'm just gonna willy-nilly say a number.
Should I rank mine? I could rank mine.
No, don't rank them.
It's okay, fine. Good. Yeah, I don't feel like I could rank mine. Mine all go.
I mean, for me, it's just like the number one is like so obviously the number one.
Okay. Okay, so let's do a countdown from 5 in a non-related order. Well, we're starting at 5. And Susie's gonna go first. All right, here we go. This is one of Susie's highlights from the podcast. Take your time.
Okay. One of my highlights about the podcast is that we have literally never planned anything. And I just rely really heavily on a recap to add anything to the discussion.
Recap. I can't wait to get a recap of the top 5.
Yeah. I'll count them back for you in no particular order. As soon as we think we're about to wrap up the podcast, I'll go back and recap it for us.
That's a pretty good one. Okay. That was a funny one.
I love a recap.
All right. So yes, Susie definitely loves a recap. Okay. I'm going to go with my 5th one in no particular order, which is building the studio. I thought the actual process of building the studio was pretty fun. Like putting the mats down, like we painted the walls, we painted the ceiling, like we had the spray paint.
I'm
for
surprised
the ceiling.
That you were still fertile after inhaling all of those toxic fumes.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I had a mask on and like I don't think that mask was doing anything.
You came home and your eyes were like black like a panda. Yes, I was like, all right, cool. So that was fun.
Yeah. And so you guys don't really get it's not a visual podcast. It's just an audio podcast.
Good thing, because our dishes are here.
Yeah. But our actual podcast studio is not very big. It's like 10, 12 feet long, 8 feet wide.
Yeah.
It's a very small room. Yeah, probably
I feel
less.
like not even 8 feet wide. Yeah. I don't think you could lie down and lengthen yourself.
Yeah, maybe 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
6 feet wide.
It's cute though. It's like perfectly cozy.
Yeah, maybe should I try to lie down next time to get
an
accurate measurement?
The walls are all black.
See if my head
and the door is painted hot pink.
Yeah.
And it's a vibe.
Yeah, and our microphones are pink also. So actually one of my highlights for sure is definitely just setting up the studio. That was really cool to get it going.
Yeah, I think we paid like an extra $50 just to have these microphones pink, but it was worth every penny.
No, they were actually the same cost. Yeah, they were the same price.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we would spend more on something just to get it pink. No shame. No shame in our family. Okay, so what was yours? Should we recap? Just kidding. Okay, my next one is in no particular order because apparently we're not doing that.
Number 4.
Is when client Matt changed my eyes from blue to brown on the poster. So if you've been around long enough to know, our CrossFit Max poster, which I don't know if it still is the same if you're listening to this far in the future, but our CrossFit Max like logo of the podcast is me and Brandon and in cartoon?
Like a cartoon, version of
a cartoon version of us that we got ChatGPT to create for us. But the only flaw at the beginning was that my eyes were blue, and we kept trying to ask the freaking software to make them brown because they're brown in real life, or like they're like hazel.
Hazel, yeah, you don't have brown eyes.
Brandon hates brown eyes, but
no, they
mine
were very
are
green
hazel.
Before. Yeah, they're
Anyways,
hazel.
they're like, it's cool because Thomas has my eyes, so they're very, very hazel.
Yeah.
Are you triggered? Anyways, on the poster they were blue.
You gotta make it like that. I do not hate brown eyes. Your eyes are not brown though. They're hazel.
Okay, whatever.
Go on.
Anyways, they're definitely not blue, and they were like
blue.
turquoisey blue on the poster before, and I
bright
was always
blue.
like, this is so unfair because then I just felt like it didn't feel me.
Yeah.
And we talked about it on an episode, and then client Matt was like, that's such a quick fix. He sent it to us in like 2 seconds. He was like, here, your eyes are brown. And I was like, whoa. Boom. Just like that. So
Chat GPT.
I look exactly like that caricature. Like it's literally copy pasted me. I'm just kidding.
Chat GPT made it, and I had like 20 different variations. And if ever you guys have, it's not actually Chat GPT. What is the actual AI software that is in Chat GPT? I forget the actual name of it.
Whatever. Nobody cares.
But anyways, I had 20 different ones, and I was like, oh, this one came up and thought it was
dope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And there was no spelling errors. The amount of spelling errors you would get in these freaking CrossFit Max XXX. I'm like, nah, that's not appropriate.
That's our OnlyFans.
Yeah. And then it was like cross. I'm just going to skip that. Cross with like multiple S's. And I'm like, anyways, it threw me off there.
Everyone's still on XXX, babe.
It just flew over my head there.
Okay, tell us another one of your highlights.
Anyway, so when that happened, it wasn't changing.
Link below.
Okay, number 4. I'm not sure if this one goes well with what we're discussing, but having all the special guests. Anyways, a real note. Having all the guests, real guests, okay? Having all the wonderful guests join the episode.
Aww.
That was really fun. That's definitely a highlight.
The highlight for you was when I was not here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
that was one of my highlights.
Amazing.
I started, the first guest was your dad.
Papa Miller.
I don't want to miss anyone, so I actually shouldn't name everyone. But we had so many amazing guests on the show.
Yeah, because if you start and then you just forget one person, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah. There was a lot of incredible guests. You got to do some.
Whoa! That's on my list. Don't take over my list.
Oh, it's on your. Oh, right. But anyways,
you can't have a moment on the podcast that didn't involve you.
That being said, that was one of my highlights. Had some really good conversations with some incredible just members in our community, and that was really fun to do. So yeah, that's number 4 for me.
I think we're on 3 now.
You're on number 3 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
you started.
No, yeah, correct.
Recap.
Should we go back?
Go.
Okay, well, I'll just say my number 3 because it's the same as your number 4. But for me, it was having my 2 girlfriends on the podcast and interviewing them solo. For me, they're like 2 of my very close girlfriends, but it was cool to have them on and have a discussion and like learn new things about them that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Which is actually funny. I was talking about that with the group class today of like sometimes you're friends with people and you don't really know like little things about them, you know? Like I was talking with Alexa and I was like, you know, like what does so and so do for work? I don't know. Like been friends with them for 10 years, couldn't tell you what their job is. So it's just like it was fun to like get to know my girlfriends on a deeper level, and it was nice of them to say yes when I asked them to be on the podcast with me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's for sure.
It's really fun.
Like shout out to those guests who came on. You know, like it is a very unique situation. We've spoken about this on the podcast, but putting a microphone in front of your face or putting a camera in front of your face, it's a different. If you're not used to it, it's just very different. You get
awkward.
Yeah. Luckily, in the podcast, there's no visual. The visual part can feel awkward. And with the podcast, we can edit. We can pause it, do whatever the heck we want to do. We can have a discussion and then
have a fight, whatever.
Have a fight, come back. It's so funny. Side note, right before, as Susie and I were making this list, I jokingly said to her, yeah, one of mine is, you know, being in the podcast studio with Susie,
35
plus
degrees.
35 degrees in the studio because the AC is not on, having a newborn crying, and then us pausing the episode 18 times to go.
Oh my God. I think there's no bigger torture in life than sitting in that podcast studio with crying Thomas, sweating, knowing that we can't leave until the episode is done. And it was just like not going to happen.
Yeah. And in case you guys didn't know, that room is small and very comfortable right now. But in the summertime,
extremely freaking hot.
It's on the upstairs of our mezzanine area, and it gets real toasty. And you have to close the door so there's no sound. And you can't put a fan on
because of the sound.
Yeah, so no fan. You have to close the door from the sound from the exterior.
That's why we record it naked.
It gets toasty. It gets
Just kidding. This episode is going to be listed explicit.
All right, my next one. Moving on here. My next one is going to be receiving all the messages from people from different parts of the world, from people who reached out to us, or even just community members and people writing to us, those messages. We really created this podcast to from a business perspective to help our own community outside of the 1 hour that we can work with them.
Like have an impact on the people who attend CrossFit Max greater than their 60 minutes they're inside the gym. That was the original
in that 60 minutes they're moving, like our job is to help make them move. Our job is to coach with them. So yes, there's chatting that goes on, but like minimal amount. You don't get the opportunity to go like on super deep levels with people, or try to get people's brain to be thinking in different ways.
Right.
So the mission for this podcast was just to help improve our service to them and hopefully give them more quality content for free outside for the other 23 hours of the day, let's say.
Yeah.
And when we put out that stuff, it's interesting. Whenever you start something, you open up a business, you're like, who the hell is going to walk into my doors right now? We've spoken about that in the past, about the 6 a.m. We have this grand opening. We have so many friends and family come over. We have the big Saturday community workout. Woohoo. Everyone's fired up. Sunday, we're closed to get the gym ready for the week. Monday, 6 a.m., Susie and I sitting in an empty gym, not a single person coming, and then you start questioning, oh my God, did I do the right thing? Like who's actually going to trust me? Who's going to buy a membership here? Who's going to believe that I can help them with the results that they want?
Right.
So you start a podcast. Who the heck is going to listen? Like who is actually interested in what I have to say?
Yeah.
And you get 1 download, and then you get 10 downloads.
Where are we
Then you
at?
get like 100 downloads. After this.
No, don't say after this.
Oh, like during, like where we're at right now?
Like how many over?
Yeah, like overall downloads have we had? We're at, right now, to date, we're at 14,857 downloads.
No
so that
way.
means downloads for people, it doesn't mean you
15,000.
actually downloaded. That means you just listened to it. So that we've almost had, by next week, we'll have 15,000 downloads. So 15,000
that's so
listens on our episodes, on 100 episodes, right? Which is so freaking cool. And yeah, I was saying that. Oh yeah, so I was saying that because you don't really expect anyone to listen, and you just kind of cross your fingers and hope that what you're saying is entertaining and valuable.
And our thing was like, even if like one person gets value.
Exactly, yeah. And then when someone listens and then they write to you about a connection that they've had
with what you've said.
Yeah. It's so incredible.
Yeah, I mean, like we have listeners that we've never met.
Yeah.
Like
people from across the world.
They don't know us. I was going to say they don't even know what we look like, but they probably do from Instagram.
Yeah,
but maybe they just know our voice. It's like Love is Blind. They can't see us.
They can't see
us.
But
they're in love with our voices.
Yes.
We'll have a big reveal one day.
Just to give you an idea, I'm trying to pull up the countries here.
Well, I think we've talked about it before, but like there's Europe, there's Australia, there's the US.
I was looking for the actual like stat on like the amount of locations. But anyways, yeah, what's your next one?
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Oh, here. This is what I was looking for. 105 countries.
105 different countries.
105.
I couldn't even name 105 countries.
That's crazy.
Do you think you could name 105 countries?
No, probably not.
Yeah, definitely not.
But 105 countries have had our podcast, listen to it. That's crazy. That's wild. Anyways, next one. Go for it.
Okay. My next one, I have 2 left. Okay. My second to last moment for this recap situation.
No particular order.
In no particular order. Is when Brandon finally told me he loved me back on a podcast episode. That was a big highlight for me.
Honey.
Hi, honey. That was a really big highlight for me because for 98 episodes, I was telling Brandon that I loved him and he was saying, okay, so, and moving on to the next topic.
Yeah,
and
just
just
you say shit like OnlyFans and I have to just, okay, so move on from it.
Yeah, but, you know, it hurts me when you don't say I love you back. Yeah. So
who says I love you more in the relationship though?
Definitely me.
Really?
Do you really think it's you? There's no way.
Yes.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
I do think that I say I love you more.
I disagree.
Well, that means that there's almost an equal amount of I love you in our relationships.
That's not what that means. That just means you're delusional. It's because you don't listen to me. That's why you don't hear it.
Oh, let's fight.
Anyways, all this to say,
I love you.
I love you too. A few weeks ago, Brandon finally
said it back. I was hoping she was going to move on from it.
No, I would never, because I have respect and love for my partner. Anyways, finally, after 6 years of relationship, can confirm we have it on recording. Brandon does in fact love me.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, the next one. The next one is beyond the text and the DMs conversations. I put this one in. I've had some pretty heartwarming conversations with people on, like I said before, the connections, the
like in person
conversations that people have come up to me either in private or before I even start a class, and people will bring up a certain topic,
like
or
even something
in the class, like
yeah.
The conversation that people will have within the class. Even today, I had, I think three people come up to me and just say, hey, like, I listened to your podcast, your previous podcast about, your childhood experience of being overweight and everything. And some people related with me. Some people thanked me for it. Some people told me like it was courageous to open up like that. So you did a really good job. Thanks, love. This is part of the fun of doing a podcast, is being genuine, and we try to give value, but if you can't connect with people and you can't relate with people, then it's hard for people just to be like, oh, this guy has just been fit all the time, So anyways, there was some really, really good conversations, not just on the last episode and not just today, but on so many episodes where someone will send me a follow-up, be like, hey, you said this in the podcast. Not sorry, said me. Someone will come up to me in a class and be like, hey, you said this in the podcast, and I think you're referring to this, or, there's just
like, sometimes we're like looking for where did we learn this, or what did we mean?
What was
and
that
people
doctor's name? Yeah.
People send us.
And people have come up to us and like told me, oh, I follow that guy also. I've been following him for years. He's so good. He's changed my life. And like those in-person conversations to me are just priceless.
Love it.
Yeah. And
that is really special.
And also the in-person conversations that are happening around. Sometimes I'll catch people in group classes talking about an episode together.
Right.
Those are really cool.
I love it.
All right. What's your last one? My
last one is when I created the world's greatest sound effect ever. Pew, 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 pew.
Client. Oh.
And I feel like it's done a really good job of like sticking and becoming a thing.
Yeah, it has.
So
it adds a little bonus to...
adds a little spice.
Yeah. And has brought a ton of amazing conversations as well, right?
Amazing.
The amount of people that have messaged us or even like come up to us in person and then give us a little bit, like open up a little bit more because of that. They're like, wow, thank you for saying that also. And they've just open their heart to us, you know?
Yeah. And anytime we share like a personal story about a client, we do generally have some permission to do so.
Yeah. Shout out Kevin in Belgium when I just shouted out his...
Minus Kevin in Belgium.
his
he
message.
has given us no consent. And we just like to share all of his personal information.
And he wrote back to me, was like, no way, I can't believe I was on it. So shout out to Kevin from listening.
Hopefully he's made it this far in this episode, because this is a little bit of an unhinged episode that doesn't necessarily bring a ton of value. But here we are. We're entertainers this evening.
Entertainers, yes.
Or today, whenever you're listening to this.
Okay. Pew, pew, pew. On to my last one here.
You can't just pew, pew, pew randomly. Like, there's a time and place for it.
Yeah. Side note, who did the best as a guest? Pew, pew, pew. Putting you on the spot here is the pew, pew, pewer.
I don't really know. I feel like everyone was like down to do it, but they were kind of like pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
There was someone that did it really well.
Was it Tom?
Tom did it fairly decent.
Was it Justin?
What about your dad? How does your dad do?
I feel like my dad is like the most like
pew, 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 pew.
Why did you make my dad sound like a 12-year-old boy?
That's what he did.
Did he?
Yeah, from what I remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he did.
Knowing Alan Miller, it was probably the most monotone pew, pew.
No, I think he tried to sound like you while he was doing it. Everyone go back to the most recent episode with Coach Alan.
Anyways.
Papa Miller.
Everyone gave it a good effort.
Yeah. Okay, here's my last one.
How come you got to be last? Like, I feel like it's unfair.
Well, you chose to go first.
Oh.
I think you're going to like this last one.
Okay, is it about me?
My last one is...
Guys, listen up. He loves me.
Spending this quality time with you once a week.
I don't believe you.
This is true.
Oh, that's
been a lot of fun.
So cheesy. I'm so sorry you didn't even make my list at all.
Yeah.
In no particular order.
Yeah. Well, I did make your list about the I love you part. But that being said, yeah, this has actually been really fun.
It's really fun.
Kind of our 1 week to...
Or 1 hour.
Or 1 hour, sorry. 1 hour or, one moment in the week where we get to throw some microphones and just be a little unfiltered. And
it's nice to have like a deep chat.
Yeah, we've had some deep chats.
I think that...
A lot of recaps.
So I don't have a lot of thoughts of my own, but I'm really good at saying your thoughts better.
But actually, it's just been fun to figure out the times.
100%.
Papa Miller has babysat Thomas a lot.
Yeah.
During those Tuesdays for us to record.
I hope he doesn't hear these episodes and think that he's off the hook, because when he gets back, we're going back to our old schedule.
Straight to with Papa Miller. But yeah. It's been really fun to just have this one moment in the week where we get to throw on these microphones.
It's just like
shoot the shit, talk about things, health related, our mindset. It's also fun to get you to think on these deeper levels, to get
what I was just gonna say is like we're not on our phones, we're not distracted, like we're fully in this conversation, which I feel like in this day and age is a rarity. And then it's also like there's the element of when life is busy and all these things are happening, especially in the current phase of life that we're in, it's sometimes like few and far between that we're having like these deep chats about like values and beliefs and health and the world and our business. It's just very pleasant.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it.
Hopefully you guys have enjoyed listening to us for all 100 episodes.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to doing another 100, maybe 200, maybe 300. Who freaking knows?
The limit does not exist.
But I definitely know that we've grown a lot over this last 100 weeks.
We definitely have.
I know that the business has changed in a really cool way. We always talk about our goals at CrossFit Max. We've talked about them on the podcast. We're going to continue to do business topics as well. We're going to continue to talk about our personal life. We're going to continue to just help provide, nutrition and lifestyle content and training content for you guys as well.
Pure entertainment.
And yeah, hopefully you guys look forward to these episodes once per week where you just get to connect with us, throw your headphones on, or listen to us in your car ride to work or back from work or wherever the heck you're going in. Yeah, just
I feel like it's so sweet that like we get that moment with people.
Yeah. it is I don't take this for granted. One of the things I value most in life is people's time.
True.
And something that we get to do every week is we get to spend some time with each of you guys. So
yeah,
thank
good
you
morning,
guys.
Caroline. I hope you're having a good morning, by the way.
I appreciate each and every one of you listeners. You guys are all awesome. Keep sending us messages from wherever you are in the world.
Please, we love to hear from you.
Keep having those conversations with us in person. They just make this whole thing worth it. And yeah, another big thank you, and we love you. And we're not going to do
the pod.
We're not going to do Client of the Week this week, just because it's a special episode.
Everyone's Client of the Week.
Everyone is Client of the Week.
Actually, Brandon, you're Client of the Week.
No, Susie, you're Client of the Week.
Perfect.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah. Clients of the Week.
On episode 100, we're the clients. We're so stupid. Hopefully you guys...
I hope someone at least laughed a little bit at some point during this episode. Like,
hopefully
that was
you guys
my
are going to stick around for another 100 episodes. But if you stick around, we're going to keep making them. So we hope that you
100%.
enjoy this episode. If you want to help spread our message, please share an episode. Could be this one. It could be another episode that you got the most value from, or that you related with the most, or that you felt that someone in your life could benefit from it. This is how the podcast grows. So feel free to share it. All our episodes are on freaking every platform. They're on Spotify. They're on Apple. They're on Audible. They're on YouTube. They're on, I don't know what else. So many different other platforms out there. Amazon, or is that Audible? I don't know if that Audible is Google. I think Audible is Google. I don't know.
No.
We're on all of them. We're on all the Google, Amazon,
the limit
YouTube.
Doesn't exist.
We're on all the platforms. So wherever you're listening to, send it to someone. They'll be able to listen to it. And if you haven't yet, please give us a rating and a review. The more reviews we have on the podcast, the more that platform will shoot our episodes out to people who are, browsing and looking for a CrossFit podcast, or looking for something health related, or entertaining / healthy, and yeah. So we hope that you have a good rest of your day.
And buy us a protein shake if you want to support us.
If you want to help support us, there's also a Buy Me a Protein Shake link down below. We would greatly appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the next episode, where we're going to have a special guest join us for episode 101.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
So I won't be there.
You won't be there for episode 101. What a good way to start the next 100 episodes.
Starting off on the right foot.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
See you guys.